Hello everyone, welcome back to more ZENSHU. Oh my gosh, I'm sitting on a pen and I'm holding a different pen in my other hand because I was looking for this pen and I couldn't find it. And so I got out a new pen. I opened up this brand new pen and then just now I realized the other one I was sitting on. Great. Well, anyway, I'm gonna use a brand new pen because it's brand new and it's satisfying. Welcome back to ZENSHU. Last week we had the best episode of the series, I think. That was a really good episode. It gave me a lot of emotion. We really went into like Natsuko's backstory and like how she grew up and sort of how she seemed to inspire a lot of people and make a lot of people fall for her. Which like you can look at that and be like, oh, it's the main character, you know, and she's a person who has, you know, she's a very likable person and a lot of people fall for her. But I honestly think, like, I mean, I think that's true that people can, like, fall for Natsuko a lot because she's very passionate and driven and all of that. But I also think there's, like, something to be said about, like, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have had people have, like, crushes on them several times and just like never knew about it, like never realized when they were growing up. I feel like I've had people have crushes on me and I never knew about it. I wish I did know about it because like it would make me feel better about myself. But yeah, like I think that's something that probably happens to a decent amount of people who just have low self-esteem and assume that no one likes them because they never made a move or whatever. So I think it might just be like a regular growing up experience, but we're just representing it through this first love episode where we're showing it from their perspectives. Because there's so many like crushes that never go anywhere in this world, billions of them all the time, happens every day, trillions of times a day. So yeah, anyway. This is ZENSHU episode 8. We're back in the isekai world, so let's see how things progress from here. We ended with like that weird bird guy like landing and talking, and it seemed like it was gonna get very creepy and weird. So let's find out. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, early access, and exclusive videos. All of that stuff is on there right now. It's very useful to go over there and check out all of my extra content. There's so much of it and I would love to have you, but if you can't do that, just stay on this channel, check out some other videos as soon as you're done. I would really appreciate that as well. But let's jump into ZENSHU. This is episode 8.
Of course it's wrong.
This bird has issues.
Oh no, I fell off my diet.
Whatever.
Okay, we're just moving past the bird
No
thing.
use.
Oh,
And
no, we're
it
not.
keeps showing up.
It's no use.
Oh my god,
Where I
bird.
am.
It's no use.
It's like to harass me.
It's no use.
She's gonna fucking eat you, dude.
It's no use. It's no use. It's no use.
This is like
Coming for you, turkey!
The Raven. It's like the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Raven, just driving her mad. It's no use, quote the Raven. See, I do some intelligent references on this channel. It's not all my hero. Episode 8, Confession.
Why am I almost sure I know you from somewhere?
Miss Natsuko!
Any bird news?
Yes, it's big. 9 kingdoms. However, as far as I can deduce, that bird is not from any of those places. If this is true, then we can only assume
It's
it's
from
the
the
kingdom of reality.
real
as you
world.
did. The first is wherever you happen to be, and the second...
Is where Destiny is? Oh, nice, Destiny!
Question to end, why are you here?
It's no use asking me.
Justy,
Yeah? Oh.
Chop him up.
Started or what?
please bring roasted annoying turkey tonight. Lee, Teacher Justice.
This is fucked up.
What is time, guys?
I gotta pee and I
Wait,
can't hold it in.
not a potty? We've got a potty emergency!
Justy bunch. They would never endure such an absurd
Wait,
nickname.
is
And
this
Destiny
the-
is a tit freak.
So, Rip's
Is this the creator
It's freaking awesome.
of the series?
Okay, rude. Put that back now.
That might be obvious, but
Destiny.
This is really good.
damn.
No way. Director Kamataro Tsuruyama.
What's
Mmm.
it to you?
Mmm.
Sweet anime.
That makes sense. I should have put that together beforehand.
So of the anime realm, it's an honor to meet you. This isn't everything you've ever done, and I have them on Blu-ray.
Cute. Aww. Aww. This is cute.
Probably. Wait. You're supposed to be dead. I
Yeah.
saw your obituary.
Well, so are you,
Guess I was
Natsuko.
done in by clams.
Yeah.
But then why am I still me and you're a bird?
Good question.
My wings.
Is that how it works?
What did you gain from your death?
Huh?
A power?
That's a good question.
The power to draw?
Maybe my peg bar?
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom of reality.
I know because this is the same one I used.
Oh.
Using that peg bar's power to revise A Tale of Perishing.
So what?
It's it from scratch. You could never fix my masterpiece.
Whoa, back
This
up.
is interesting.
You think is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. A Tale of Perishing is my literal reason for living.
It's
I've been
perfect.
obsessed with it forever. It started.
Then why have you been defeating the void?
Yeah, you're changing my story.
Tell us.
Your presence here has extended the runtime exponentially. You have no...
Cut content? You have to tell me everything.
No, I don't. Its ending is set in stone. All roads in this world lead to Luke's demise.
Luke's thing
Your
is
little
gonna
fan
happen no
edits
matter
will
what.
change the-
Wow, this is interesting.
I have questions.
I like this development.
What's going to happen to Luke?
Oh, you heard that? Sorry, I haven't mentioned till now.
I wanted to ask for advice. On behalf of a friend of a friend.
About romance.
You have friends I don't know.
Well, they've been struggling with something.
Go on.
It seems that they've fallen in love.
No.
Well,
No!
it's like all they can do is think about her.
How far along are you?
I understand. Don't be absurd!
That's good.
I'm planning to marry her.
Oh my god.
No! Stop thinking that right now!
I mean, you haven't even told her how you feel, right?
Yeah.
Imagine how creepy you to get hitched out of the blue.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Come on, Luke.
Again? You in a spot of love trouble too? Okay, show me. I want to hear all those juicy details.
Is it really gonna play out in the same way?
Probably not in the same way,
In the
but
movie, Luke falls into
the
despair after losing
the
ones
broad
he
strokes will
loves.
be there.
But Yunio's still around.
A writer can make any
Destiny's not gonna keel over
ending work.
I love you!
Whoa! Whoa, really? Dude, that's brave. And she's like, shit, that means I'm gonna die. Oh my god. What a confession scene. Oh, the episode's called
Lead character
Confession.
in an anime. Wait, I'm here because I died, right? So maybe nothing here is real. This world's a movie, and movies aren't real.
You can't act like nothing happened. He confessed to you 3 times.
I love you.
4 times.
Maybe I died.
I love you.
But if I was alive, how would this work?
You can't just ignore
It's
him.
just a... Wait, why is that what I'm fixating on?
I love you!
Man, come on.
I love you. I love you.
I mean, he's persistent.
Certainly qualifies. What do you think, Yunio?
He hates it.
Are you alright?
Yo, go for Hirose.
Where are you going?
That's right. And no more recap episodes. Don't
Good.
bother me about this again. Thank you.
I don't want any more recap episodes, thank you.
What have I done?
You've broken her. With your love.
I don't know.
How dare you
It feels
fall in
like I made
love.
some sort of mistake. But all I did was tell her what was in my heart.
Poor
I need
Luke.
help.
You could have gone to for relationship advice. You went to Gonger.
Oh, you heard that?
Well, if Gonger did, he'd have been shocked back to life.
No, he wouldn't.
So what's going on with Natsuko?
Aww.
Well, she doesn't react, so I'm never sure if she
Yeah, she is, you know.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so innocent and
What are you
cute.
going to do, though?
Yunia, go away.
I get the friend routine and I justice. I can you know.
First thing, ask her out on a
I
date.
mean, Yunia, you kind of fucked up that
Someone
chance.
nice. Didn't get Yunio to help you with this.
There's no way I could go to him with this stuff.
Also, he like tries to
Jent told me the best
sabotage
friend.
my
I mean,
relationships.
we've known each other our whole lives, but still, that's what he is to me.
I mean, that's
Going to my
nice.
way too embarrassing.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a good reason.
Natsuko, you there?
Kick down the
You want to
door.
go to the hot springs?
The hot
It
springs.
is a bit of a ways away. Why don't we go together?
Kick that door in.
Hot springs?
Yeah, she does want to go. You can't turn that down. They have to ride camels there? Crazy.
It really is a hot spring.
I love her little
Only thing this
excited
girl wants
giggles.
is a hot-
I'll be in the ones over there.
Aww. He came here with you and you just get to enjoy yourself on your own. Oh.
Go!
What?
Stay down! There's a monster about! I just heard it. Capitan was throwing a fit because he wanted a bath. So Gonger said, "Guess we need some hot water." Down right there, nerd.
It means a person who really loves something.
And I'm a nerd for you.
Excellent work, Gonger.
That's Admiral Merfolk.
Correct.
You sounded.
I used to do impressions of her all the time, even though I knew no one would get it. Hey, guess which of the 9 soldiers was the most popular?
She's so cute.
Me?
Negatory. The answer's Unio.
Really?
His design is just too strong to resist.
He's my least favorite.
Horrible, so I get why kids like him so much.
Even though he's voiced by one of my
Like
favorite
him as
voice
well,
actors.
Natsuko?
Most out of the 9 soldiers.
Is Justice. Justice is pretty cool.
I was about to say, is you.
Aww.
But I can't shake the feeling that now's a bad time to mention that.
Aww.
Your sounds fascinating. I'd love to visit it someday.
Look at that
I
scar.
think I get it.
There's a void.
Oh, fuck.
Start presents yet. If it's just one, I could handle it alone.
Alright, Luke.
Natsuko!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh. What if he has to save you? Or you die and he is heartbroken, or...
Natsuko!
They're like the ones that I drew.
Huh?
No, the hot springs!
They're like the ones you drew.
You beast!
Are they gonna be able to create...
Natsuko and I's first date!
Oh, no.
Hold up. This is a date?
Mr. Void!
Mr. Void.
That was really well delivered.
Put on these.
Very weird switch has definitely been flipped.
Can you give me something to block them?
Something to block the beams?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah!
Yes! You know, I'm not really a magical girl anime guy overall, but this transformation sequence makes me understand like the hype of those transformation sequences. This one's different though because she doesn't have pants. So they had to redo it without pants. Probably wasn't too hard.
Please hurry!
Wait. What's going on?
What?
This feels...
Exciting to work with him? It's like a disco ball. That's what you're gonna use to block, and then it'll redirect the beam. What the fuck? No, it's a fucking
Mobile fighter Ikudas!
transformer. Oh, it's like a Gurren Lagann mech. Like one of the ones in the after the time skip with the guns. Nice.
How is it going to move?
It'll walk 3 more steps, and then it'll jump.
1, 2, 3. Jump. All right, you got a chance now. Oh, sick.
What am I feeling right now?
You're feeling that he's hot. I love you. Awesome. Oh.
Papa.
Yes! She got it! That was a great episode. I'm getting more and more attached to this show. I think I'm genuinely like really on board with this show at this point. I think like the show took me a little bit originally to like, I always liked the show. Like from episode 1, I thought the show was solid, but like I was wondering like how, you know, where's it gonna go and how attached am I gonna be? And what I kind of anticipated was that the show would have a massive, you know, twist, a massive change, something that like made the show like really, really different. About halfway through the show. And that would be what like made me go, okay, well, this is something special. But it wasn't, I didn't think like, okay, well, I'm going to be attached to the characters and all of that. I thought it was going to be like, I got to wait for this show to have like whatever its main twist is or something. Because sometimes anime original shows will do that. They want to like, they want to do something special, so there's like a crazy thing that happens that you wouldn't be able to see coming, and that the manga readers can't spoil because there are no manga readers. So sometimes shows will do that, and that's kind of what I was anticipating. But I would say the show hasn't done that. I don't think there's anything that's been a major twist or anything. Like the show has gone as I expected the show to go from the first episode, but the difference is it's just been like nicely paced and nicely written, and you know, good atmosphere, a great animation. The dub is like, I keep saying this in every episode, but the dub is elite. Like the dub is so incredibly good, and so like, and it's made this series really work for me. And there's something about it now that I'm genuinely attached to these characters. I do think last episode helped a lot in terms of like, I don't know, giving me like more trust in the show, because last episode was handled so well that I was like, oh, this is like, they're doing some really interesting stuff with this, I think. But like, even, you know, episodes before that, a few episodes before that, I was still like, I was slowly every episode going like, oh, I'm getting more attached to these characters, and I'm liking this thing that they're doing, and liking this. I feel like the if I had to say a moment where like these characters started to really click with me, I think it had to have been Justice. I think Justice was the one that I was like, wow, this is a really like interesting character, and I really like him, and I think he feels like he's got depth to him, and it's fun to really watch him. And once that started to click, the other characters fell in place more, you know? So sometimes that's all you need. You need something to trigger that initially. But again, not to say that I wasn't enjoying this at the start of the series. I was. Like the early episodes of the show, I was having a great time, but I was enjoying it as like oh, this is funny and there's cool animation. You know, like this will just be like a show that will be like pretty forgetful, but will look really cool, and I'll look back on it fondly. But I think now I'm starting to get attached to these characters in a point where I would actually go, well, maybe I'll be thinking about this show and referencing it a lot in the future, or like thinking about these characters a lot. Because yeah, like now Natsuko and Luke, I really feel like that relationship, and I'm really attached to it. Like that moment at the end where she gets her bump moment, that really worked for me. That was like a very, very effective moment for me. So I liked that a lot. I also like the little I guess you could call this a twist, but it's not the kind of twist I was talking about beforehand. But the twist that the director of the original anime is here, but as a bird, which is like wild. That's a crazy thing. Now I feel stupid because I know that like that it's super obvious. Like I can tell once they started to say it. It's like, well, of course that's what it is. And it's like, I think anyone who was actually sitting down and trying to think about like who that bird was would have guessed it in 3 seconds. I straight up was not thinking about the bird at all. Like I was like, oh, that's like when the bird did that it's no use thing last episode or whatever. I looked at it and I went, oh, that's kind of creepy. And then I just moved on. I just didn't think about it. I even saw that it was called Bird Director, right? My thought, I think, from the words bird director and the fact that the bird's in the OP with the projector next to her. My thought at the time was that like, oh, this bird is like the puppet master of this universe, and you know, it's just gonna be an exposition dump character, right? Which in a way maybe she kind of is, but I didn't think about her being like like the person who actually created this anime. I thought if she's anyone, because I mean she has the hair, so it's like obviously she's supposed to look like someone in real life, but I thought maybe she was representing like the director of the new series that Natsuko is about to draw or whatever, right? But I guess Natsuko is a director because that's the whole point. It's like her first directorial thing. But it's funny because just in my mind I was like, oh, Natsuko is the writer, someone else is the director. But no, she's doing all of it. That's the whole thing. And also for a lot of the time in big anime movies and stuff, like the director and writer is kind of one and the same, and they do like a lot of the main stuff. So yeah, I'm just telling you why I didn't see that coming, even though it's like really obvious, because it's like, it's called Bird Director, but I mean, I guess if you don't have subtitles on, like the CC subtitles, you don't see that it's called Bird Director until later. But also because like she's got the exact same hair as the woman who died. But yeah, I guess I just thought, because you know how like the producer is like the tavern keeper, right? The producer is the same thing, but it has the same sort of design, except she's an animal or whatever, right? And that was because that design was like based on her, right? That was the idea, was that like, oh, the writer or the director or whatever like knew that producer and kind of like as a little cameo drew a design that looks like her, and now she's in this world. I thought that was the same kind of thing with the bird, right? The bird was going to be based on someone in real life. That's why it had weird hair, but it doesn't mean that someone's actually living there. Like the producer, that's the tavern thing. I don't think that producer's dead and is in this world. That's just a different person who's just based on the producer. So yeah, I guess you can see why I would think that. But yeah, anyway, crazy stuff. So I like this direction that it's taken, because one, it gives Natsuko a chance to speak with her and speak with her idol and like have, you know, have a conversation about how the world works and all of that. But also, like, it's a good way to make this storyline of like she's changing everything. It's like now there's someone coming in and going like, hey, you know, I know what you're doing. You're trying to change shit. You're not changing the ending. Like, this is my story. This is how I wanted it to be told. And I know that you want this to happen, but you're not changing it, right? And there's something that I like about this in terms of, I think there's kind of a fun thing here with like the idea of like not fan fiction. Fan fiction is a different thing, but like fan ideas of where a series should go. Like, a lot of the time you have the person who created the series has a certain vision for things, and then fans will watch a part of the show and then they'll go, okay, well, here's how it should go, and here's how it's gonna go, and this is all great. And then the show goes in a different direction and fans go, what the hell? Like, why'd you do that? And they'll get angry and they'll get frustrated and they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna write how I think it should have gone. And like, this would have been way better. Or they'll just say like, hey, no, instead they should have gone to this kingdom and they should have done this, and then they should have done this, and then this person should have gone like, I can take you down, and then he should have stabbed him in the back. Like, the fans will like say their own thing, right? And like, I try not to do that while watching series and stuff. I try to not say like, oh, here's what the series should have done instead of what it did. Because I don't love the idea of like, you know, in my head, the writer wanted to tell a certain story and they are attached to that story. And when, and I say this as someone, like as a writer myself, if I'm writing a story, if I'm writing the way that I want things to go, I have a vision in my head. And when someone, like, if I say, like, okay, so I'm going to write a story, and in this story, this man gets these crazy powers, and he goes over to this place, and then he meets this best friend, and his best friend is fighting with him or whatever, and then his best friend dies on the battlefield in part 3. And then in part 4 is kind of about, like, his depression and getting over it and getting stronger because of it. And then in part 5, he'll fight for him, and then maybe there'll be like a crazy sequence or whatever where he's fighting in the way that his friend used to fight. And like I'll have all of this idea in my head, right? But then people will get to part 3, and then the friend will die, and then people will just be like, what? You've just killed this character, and you shouldn't have done that, and like, what the hell is wrong with you? I was attached to this character, and now you've killed them, and you've destroyed the worst part of the show. And it shouldn't have happened, and like and then they'll like try to find plot holes in the death as well. A lot of the time what people do is, like, when they're upset about a decision, they'll also try to find a reason that they think it's like objectively the wrong choice. They'll just say, like, well, it's so out of character. This happened with, like, The Last of Us Part 2, right? And Last of Us Part 2 is one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. Last of Us Part 1 is possibly my favorite piece of media of all time, but Last of Us Part 2 is, like, really, really up there as well. And I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry. But it makes some bold decisions. Some of the boldest decisions I've ever seen in media. Maybe the boldest decisions I've ever seen in media. But it's such a clear vision for a story to me, right? It's like, I would not have pitched this story. I would not have come up with it. I would not have even had the balls to like try to pull it off. But I respect the fuck that Neil Druckmann did have those balls to try to pull it off, and I think personally he fucking did. And it's real. Like, once you've taken in the entire story, I've taken in the entire story about like 8 times at this point. And like, I played that game on the hardest difficulty, on grounded difficulty, and like I've experienced that story in all of the ways that you can experience it. I fucking love it. But that's the thing, is like, people get very attached and they try to look for stuff. Anyway, the point is, the reason I'm saying all of this, and I go off on tangents, is that, like, I think a lot of the time fans will like change up the story in their heads, and they'll like do their own like headcanons of stuff, but then they'll get frustrated when their headcanon doesn't come to fruition. And what they're doing is they're not seeing the story for what it is, like, for what it needs to be. So I'm like, what I'm seeing in this bird director is she's saying, like, look, she called it like your little fan work or whatever, your little fan edits. That's what she said, right? Like, oh, your little fan edits won't change what the story is going to be, right? And I mean, she might be the antagonist of the series. The series may end with her little fan edits being actually what changes the world and stuff. But I think, and this is funny because, like, on a meta level, I don't know what story they're trying to tell in this series yet. And if I say what I'm about to say, then it may sound like I'm contradicting myself with the whole point that I've been making. I think where this story is possibly headed, in my head, is that the series is headed in a way that Luke needs to suffer this trauma. He needs to. But what I think Natsuko is missing, what benefit that adds to the story, and like the depth that adds to the, like, what this series is and his life. And there's so much strength that he can gain from that and stuff. Like, I think the thing is, like, there's a reason for it and you can't just avoid it. That's where I'm kind of seeing that it's headed, is that, like, I think Luke has to suffer that trauma, and I think it's going to happen in this series. She's not going to be able to stop it, but she has to learn that it was important for it to happen. That's where I think the series is going. But as I said in that whole tangent, if the series does not go in that direction, I will not be angry at the series for not doing that. That's just how I'm reading it at this current point in time. Because I mean, like from the first episode, I saw the direction of the series was that it was, you know, she has to like write a thing about love. She comes here. Obviously, she's gonna fall in love with Luke. That part was clear to me. Exactly how the themes of the series play out, obviously, I don't know that yet. So that's where I'm taking more of a risk. When in the first episode, I was like, well, she's gonna fall in love with Luke. I just don't know how this is gonna play out. That wasn't really a bold prediction. That was pretty obvious that was gonna happen. But like what I'm saying now is, I guess, more of a bold prediction, especially after I've said like, oh, you shouldn't try to see where the story's gonna go, just tell the author, like let the author tell the story. But yeah, that's my thoughts of where it's going to go currently. But yeah, as I said, no matter what happens, I'm interested to see the story that this writer is telling, because I think so far this writer has actually impressed me. Whoever writes ZENSHU, I have no idea. But they've done a great job at this so far, I think. Where I'm very invested in the story and where it's going. So, was there something else? So Yunio, the Yunio scene, well, the Yunio scenes, where it's like, oh, Luke is going to Yunio and like trying to get advice with the friend of a friend thing, and then later he goes to Justice and gives advice or asks for advice basically without using the whole friend of a friend thing. And then Yunio is like, why didn't he do that with me? Now, obviously, there was the like really nice justification of like, well, Yunio feels like a brother to me and I wouldn't go to my family for love advice. Like, that's a very nice thing and that helps Yunio a lot. But look, Yunio, if I'm being real with you, you're not good to talk to. Like, I think Yunio is kind of a funny character. I think for me, the only thing that I really like about Yunio is the fact that Yunio is voiced by Lucy Christian, because I absolutely adore Lucy Christian so much. I mean, I'm a huge Nami fan from One Piece, so I love her in One Piece. Even though obviously I watch One Piece in sub, which you can check out on my Jent Watches One Piece channel. Go in the description below. Go check that out. It's really great. But I do rewatch it in dub, and I also watch filler episodes in dub and stuff. I love Lucy Christian. I also am a big My Hero Academia fan. And is this here? Yes, it is. I'm a big Uraraka fan. I had to blow the dust off it. But I'm a big Otaku Uraraka fan, who she's also voiced by Lucy Christian. So I love that woman so much. I love her voice. And I was very excited that she's in this series. She's playing my least favorite character in the series, to be frank. But it's fine, because there was like in this episode, I think, were some of my favorite of her line deliveries. I forgot what one of them was, but she had a very dulled reaction to something. I forgot what it was, but it was just like, what? Or something like that, you know? But it was very funny. Because a lot of Yunio stuff is very over the top. So when Yunio is not being over the top and is just reacting like just dumbfounded by something, it's funnier to me. But yeah, so Yunio, look, you're not good at giving advice or being talked to about feelings, because when Luke does try to talk to you about love, you're like, you should never fall in love. I don't want to talk to someone like that, bro. You're not being a great friend. You gotta be a wingman, dude. So yeah, I think, oh yeah, there was also stuff. Oh no, there are two more things that I want to talk about. One is the idea of this, like, is this place real? That was like a thing that she was struggling with, is like, is the world that she's in, quote unquote, real? Is Luke real? And that was like one of the reasons she wasn't like letting herself fall for him, because it's like, this is a drawing, like this guy is an anime character. Should I be falling for him? Now obviously us as anime fans, we go yes, because we want anime characters to be real, and we want, you know, I want to date your forger, so obviously we want anime characters to be real. But like realistically, this is especially someone who she does this for a living. She draws anime characters. So like when she's in this world, she's like, huh, this is strange, because he's confessing his love to me, but I'm kind of treating this whole world as if it's just like a fun little excursion, and not as if it's my actual life. And so yeah, her wonder is like, is it real or not? And that's the thing, I don't even know if this is real. Like in the fiction of the series, I don't know if this is a real thing that's happening to her, or if this is like a coma. Like it genuinely could be. I think if I had to make a guess, I think this is one of those things where it's like, it's technically a coma that she's in. It's technically like, she didn't die, the clams knocked her out, whatever. She'll wake up in the last episode in the real world and be like, holy shit, it was all a dream. Blah, blah, blah. She'll make the perfect thing. She'll write the perfect love story or whatever, right? And it'll be very successful, but then there'll be something at the end that implies that it was actually real and that it was actually some sort of magic going on. Like, I feel like that happens a lot of the time, where it's like, it's the show creators going like, yeah, look, we needed to tell this story, but we recognize that the whole it was all a dream thing is super unsatisfying, so instead we have to show that, like, oh no, it did actually happen, and the it was all a dream is actually a cover that she can use as justification or whatever for her life. But actually it did happen and it was real. Like, that's something that writers, I feel like, do a decent amount. I can't think of examples right now, but I know I've seen it several times within media. So, like, I'm expecting that to be the case, but I'm gonna see where the show goes, and if it will change that idea in my head. But yeah, the other thing is, as I was starting to say in this episode, but I can expand on it more now, I'm not a huge fan of Magical Girl anime. Even though I like it from the outside, I just don't care about it enough to watch any. You know, like, I don't watch, you know, Sailor Moon, I don't watch, what are some other big famous Magical Girl anime? There's Madoka Magica, which I did watch and enjoy. But obviously, you know, it's part Magical Girl anime, part Subversion. Some people say it's 100% Subversion, but I think it's still a decent amount Magical Girl anime. There's stuff that's similar, like Ultraman. I watched all of the Ultraman like 3D anime, but I watched that with my dad because he, when he was younger, used to really like Ultraman, and then he wanted to watch Ultraman with me. And so we watched the whole series, like all 3 seasons or whatever. And that was a fine show. But yeah, that's kind of, in a way, like Magical Girl type anime, because it has like transformation sequences and all of that. But yeah, so like, and I mean, I know that's also like Kamen Rider and stuff. Like, I don't want to get comments that's like, oh, actually it's not, it's actually this type of, yeah, I don't care. I've gotten those exact comments before. You know what I mean. I'm talking about shows with transformation sequences in general. I tend to not seek them out, to not care about them too much, even though I have seen a few. But like, with that being said, I like the idea behind them. I like that they exist, but I just haven't really found any that hit me as, oh, this is like a show that I really, really love. But anyway, this episode, I think, made me like, or, you know, this series in general has made me go like, oh, but the transformation sequences, when they hit, you know, like this, every time now that Natsuko has that cool little transformation sequence, it's like, it gets me really hyped, and I'm like, oh, like, if I was a Magical Girl anime fan, like, that's, I would want it to give me that feeling every time, you know, whenever they're about to drop into their outfits or whatever. I would want that feeling, because that's really cool. I love the ZENSHU that's in the background while the transformation's going on. That's so good. Yeah, anyway, that's ZENSHU episode 8. Thank you for joining me. That was a long discussion, honestly, for this show. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos, and go to my Jent Watches One Piece channel if you like One Piece. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.